What's up, guys? Tuesday night, Birds of a Feather coming at you live from the Real Talk Studios on A2DRadio.com. You all right there, Chucks? All right. I just see the adamant agent guy moving around in the corner out of my peripherals, and I don't really know how to react to that. I don't know. Something's wrong. Who knows? But we are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. Find him in Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton, New Jersey. Find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. You got needs. You need some rehabilitation kind of stuff going on. Hit up the doc. And obviously, we're also brought to you by Ambuck Services Gutter Cleaning, guys. Deck restoration, staining, gutter cleaning, repair, tree trimming, any of that stuff and more.
I need them.
Well, hit up Ambuck Services, guys. 856-879-5530. You can find them on the web, ambuckservices.com. Our topic of conversation tonight brought to you by ATS Sports Picks. Promo code A2D. Get you 20% off all your first-time packages. I say it every week. I'll say it again. March Madness is right around the corner, guys. It's a great time to look into investing and trying to win some money and get that 20% off for being a loyal family member at A2D. Mm-hmm. You find them on the web, atsportspick.com. Singular, no S at the end. ATS Sports Pick.
Pick.com. What are you doing, Tobias?
Topic of conversation. Not hiring an offensive coordinator was the right move. Agree, disagree. We're on YouTube, Facebook. Right, exactly. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope. What am I forgetting? Twitter. And if you're checking us out late, obviously, all of our podcast platforms. Yes. Ryan has to help me with this every week. Spreaker. That's the one I always forget, right?
Yep.
So you got Spotify.
No, I always get Spotify. It's Spreaker. I don't remember.
So
now you switched it.
You got iTunes.
Well, he didn't let me get the other one. It's not iTunes. It's Apple
Podcasts.
Podcast. It is iTunes, right?
Yeah. It's iTunes.
You got Google Play.
Google Play. SoundCloud.
Semantics, okay? Semantics.
Yeah. But just make sure you subscribe. And if you can, once you subscribe, leave a 5-star review, not just for our show, but for the channel, the platform, A2D. Support the brand and leave a review. It helps out a lot.
Yeah, and listen, if you're on YouTube and Facebook, obviously we want your participation. We want to talk to the fam. We want to know your thoughts on our topics. And obviously with that, we're going to talk about the offensive coordinator strategy going forward. We're going to talk, so we were originally going to talk all or nothing, but we determined it's kind of like at the less than a week point.
Yes.
And we decided pre-show that we want to give people another week before we crack into it. I know all of us haven't been able to really binge watch except for Chuck's. Chuck's had it watched by the next morning. The release.
It came out early, Thursday night they released it early. I binge watched the whole thing that night. Didn't go to bed till 3:30. I had to be up at 6:15. I have issues.
Yeah, we know.
This has been addressed.
Yeah, we're not all psychos like you and sociopaths, so it's all good. And so we're gonna do is we're actually gonna sub that. We're gonna take that topic out, and instead, me and Chucks and Ryan. Breaking news, topic change.
Wait, we have to address his reinstatement.
We're not done yet, guys. Jesus, let me get through the opening. Shut your goddamn mouth. My Lord. We're going to, if you remember last week, these two gentlemen weren't here. Right. Me, Chucks, and Ryan, who joined us, and he may join us for the second half because Pete may have to dip out in the second half.
Yes.
We got breaking news all over the place.
Lineup change.
It's like soccer. Once you sub out, though, you're not allowed to sub back in. You're out for the game. But we're going to do that. We're going to switch it up. We did a quarterback thing. We went through the league last year, and we said who we believe by opening day will be the starting quarterback of each football team. And for some of them, we were a little more in-depth as to why than others.
Okay.
So we're going to do that with Pete and with Kevin. And then obviously you have me and Chucks this week here too, by the way. And yes, as you can see, Kevin is back on the couch after his 1-week suspension. However, he's not reinstated.
Okay.
As we see in professional sports, there is an appeal process. So due to the appeal, we had to let him appear. However, he has paperwork due to be reinstated Plus, we'll see what other shenanigans, which we have an idea of what some stuff might come out of his mouth.
So we have an A2DPA.
We're going to see.
Yeah. A2DPA.
We're going to see if this extension goes longer, this suspension goes longer.
Get reinstated and extended.
I have a feeling it's going to be a long battle.
I mean, there have been things on record that you've said that does warrant a suspension.
Listen, there was one thing on record. One thing.
Well, no,
alone.
Pre-show just now.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do it on the air, we're giving him the benefit of the doubt. But if he chooses, now that he's had time to think about it, to utter these things on the air.
Yes.
He also weeks
reevaluate.
ago, he also still said that Philip Rivers is still elite. Remember that?
Wow.
Brother, remember?
I didn't say he was elite.
So, I mean, there's also that.
I mean, speaking about your pre-show comment, and I'm looking at your attire, I mean, I don't know. I think you came in loaded based on where you said it's because am I lying? Like, I think there's some thought that went into this tonight.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
No thought whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, most things you do have no thought.
We
Put it this way,
that was so wrong. That wasn't even nice.
Well,
more thought went into my hair to get here.
I will say your beard is starting
Your beard
to
has started
come back
filling.
a little bit.
yeah, look at that.
It is. Thank you. Thank you for noticing, actually.
Thank you for caring, guys.
Yeah. But, all right, guys.
Poll question.
And we're going to talk about the XFL in the second half as well. And we'll talk about it more next week because we want to get your opinions into it as well. But, all right, guys, agree, disagree. Not hiring an offensive coordinator was the right move. I feel like there's going to be a lot of heavy opinions on this. So I'm going to open the floor for whoever would like to be the first person to speak.
Disagree. Lazy move.
I agree with what he says.
I agree with what he said as well. Wow, that's a good start for you.
That's going to be.
You're on the road. You just
I'm going to be back up in the corner this first segment.
I passed now. No, I think
I'm deferring any other statements now.
I think you knew. Obviously, came out earlier that they weren't bringing him back. So you have all this time to go out and get somebody and
bring
watch
who back?
A coordinator in general or the direction you want to go. You obviously knew early on that there was going to be changes made, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, Lori came out and said that.
Oh, you're talking about with Grow?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew.
Midway through the season, you knew that you already wanted to get rid of him,
right.
But you didn't.
Lori did.
Right.
We talked about that.
But
Doug Peterson
right.
didn't know.
Doug had
but
no idea.
Lori knew. So if you're in that position, he's the one that's going out and hiring the guys.
Right.
Partly. I mean, obviously Doug has some say in it. On who he wants to work with, but you know that this is the direction you're going, and then as soon as the season ends, you obviously open it up, and you have a lot of leeway to go out and get different types of guys, and to start the interviewing process, and then you hear names go off the board, and get shut down, and then you hear about different guys either on the San Fran staff or with the Chiefs, where you're not even asking for the interviews because you're afraid that they're going to get blocked, and you just wait and twiddle your thumbs until it's like, oh, well, we might as well just roll what we got, I guess. Yeah. And I think it's the lazy move. I think that, it's not something that you see often happen. Granted, the 49ers did do well, but their head coach is very offensive-minded.
And Doug isn't?
Well, so
I don't think he's as well-rounded as Shanahan is.
Huh? Who has a ring and who doesn't? Talk yourself into a corner.
I'm just saying. If I'm going to if I'm going to give a game plan to somebody, 100% it's your shot to go.
True.
I prefer Shanahan
for 3 quarters.
I prefer Shanahan
for 3 quarters. I'm just 3 quarters. He's your man.
I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna deflect from that statement, and I'm gonna go on to why
he was doing okay, and then that came out of his mouth, and then it was like
I'm gonna deflect from the last part of that. All right, so maybe I'm overthinking it. So if you guys think I'm overthinking it, let me know after I give. But I'm looking at this from a lot of different views. I'm with you on the lazy part of this. I feel like this whole process has been a cluster.
Yes.
And
you can't say the other word you want to say.
I can, but I'm trying to curse less on the air.
Cluster frack.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a cluster. It's a mess. And I'm looking at it from a lot of different things that I feel like I've seen that have gotten us to this place. First of all, the whole change in culture thing. I think this is like a cop-out to get them to there, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I'm looking at it as I feel like they dragged their feet with the coordinators that were out there. And there's not enough confidence in the options that are there. Also, because Doug calls all of the offensive plays, it limits the interests of any top candidate on the for an offensive coordinator position to want to come here. Yep. And not even just him. We look at Kafka.
Yeah.
I believe there's a chance that Kafka could have came here had Doug even deferred what Andy did for him first half play calling.
Yeah.
But Doug calls all of the play calling here. So now when you're looking at all the legitimate offensive coordinators, like, I'm sorry, Jay Gruden's not coming here if Doug's calling all the plays. There's a lot of guys who can get jobs elsewhere if they can call, if they're going to be able to or not be able to call other plays. So I think that there's that. Then I look at Deuce as an option. And I believe a lot of what myself and some of the others who did not necessarily want Deuce, I believe the organization realizes they missed the boat by putting him in that position 2 years ago.
Yep.
Or 3 years ago, whenever you
2 years ago,
the
I
hiring.
think it was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Date-wise, it could be 2.5 years, whatever it was. But they missed the boat on that. And it's saving face by not putting him specifically in that role. Because, I mean, realistically now, he may be their best option to them. But I believe it's a saving face thing now at this point. So I believe because Doug has to call, which I'm not complaining about that because I'm confident for the most part in his play calling and his aggressiveness on the play calling.
Right.
Aggressiveness.
But by him not, that's what I said.
No.
Oh, talking to him.
Look at him.
But by
Mr. He's not offensive minded.
But by not deferring any of that to any of these, particularly these young prospect offensive coordinators that people believe will be great coordinators and potentially great head coaches one day, and by missing the boat on all of these veteran guys who are going to want to call their, this is the option, the corner that they back themselves into.
Right.
You know, so to me, it's laziness and it's indecision, and to me, it's a bit of turmoil. I don't think this was at all the plan going into the offseason.
Right.
I think this fell into their lap as an excuse to not have to explain all this out in the media.
Okay. So, you want to go or you want me to go?
You go, because I'm the only one on the one side.
Let's
so
be
all
realistic. For the
all
most
of
part, Doug is the play caller anyway.
Yeah, so no,
Doug is the offensive coordinator.
So I agree with do I think it was the right move? No. So I disagree with the poll.
I think it's the wrong move. Absolutely.
But listen, I
think I accidentally hit I agree though, so I got to change my vote.
I think they made chicken salad out of the chicken shit that they made, though. I will say that.
See, I think it's the other way around. I think they had chicken salad put in front of it. Came out looking like chicken shit.
And I'll explain why.
I think I agree. You just go ahead.
And I'll explain why. What killed them was they told Graham Harrell, they told James Urban, this is going to be a long process. So when that right there, and like you said, from just looking on it from the surface, knowing that Doug calls all the plays, and he has final say-so in the offense. Not necessarily the game plan, because even with Kafka, like that's one of the intriguing reasons why Kafka wanted to stay. Outside of that, it's because he has input. You can have a voice without actually wearing the crown and having all that responsibility. You just want to know that your input can be heard. Right. So I think it could have worked. Even though Doug was still called the plays, the input that he would have given during the week, that would have been heard. But
and I don't disagree with you on that, but it was reported in multiple sources, though, that one of the reasons that they turned it down is Andy wants him to have the ability to call plays. Most coordinators, like I said, even for a half, it works. But if you're taking that
from
out, especially a guy who is really kind of starting to blossom into a coaching role, he needs that experience.
No, you're absolutely right, and that I agree with you with. But when you have like the Ravens, we're looking at, okay, so now you're talking about taking our quarterbacks coach to wait 3 weeks. I'm cool where I'm at. Graham Harrell, the same thing. He's at USC. I understand. So it's like they were interested in these guys, but they wanted to do their due diligence. And by them doing their due diligence, cost them that. And I don't want to get caught up on the fact that we're talking about a title of an OC. I'm not concerned with the title of OC. That's why I say they made chicken salad out of the chicken shit that they made, because now they've brought in people who have no ties to the organization. And
I'm okay with that.
And Rich Gangarello, Nick Mullins, 2 years ago when Jimmy G went down, we seen what we had with him. We kind of seen already how the structure is. He's a senior offensive assistant, so when it comes to the offensive play non-Doug during a week speaking, more likely than not, it's going to be him. And he came under Kyle Shanahan, he came under Sean McVay. But then you got Briner as well, who came from Mississippi State. So they got these minds now where we all sat here and said last year, we need some creativity. So is it the most ideal situation? No, it's not. Did they make the best of it? In my opinion, yes. And when you look at who they brought in as a whole, ask yourself this. What OC would have brought in all of that they have now with these 4 or 5 people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I hear you, but
you see, so I mean, it's weird. Like, this is one of the first poll questions. Like, I'm really kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
But because of, I think they could have went in 2 different directions. Will we all have been fine sitting here and saying, okay, Eagles' new offensive coordinator Graham Harrell, or Eagles' new offensive coordinator James Urban.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we would have said that. Or when you look at, okay, so now you have this guy who's under this system. Now you have this guy who's under that system. Mm-hmm. And now you have all this information flowing to Doug. And you couple that in with who I think is probably the biggest hire is Aaron Moorhead, the wide receivers
coach.
Because he's actually going to hold these guys accountable. And we've already seen the leaks, and we've already started. I think Jake put up a post about the top 5 Eagles wide receivers targets. So, and these are younger guys and you need somebody that's going to hold you accountable. You know what I mean? So when you look at that, that's what I'm saying. Like, as a whole, they made the best out of what they had. But I can't sit here and say that they were in that position that wasn't caused by their own doing. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay, I'm done.
I think that, for one, I will say that I think that the whole thing is being way overblown. I think that, like, you have a lot of people out there that are very, very mad and, like, crucifying the organization for what's happened with the coaching structure. And I think they're way overreacting. I think in the end, what's more important is that we upgrade the talent more than we fix the coaches. I think overall coaching was an issue, but I don't think by far. I don't think it's the main or biggest issue. I'm more worried about personnel than I'm worried about coaching.
And that plays a point, because I mean, I hate to come back and do this to you again, Kev, but look what happened in the Super Bowl. 3 quarters, really three in the third quarter, the scheme was winning. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what won Kansas City Chiefs the game?
Kyle Shanahan not being aggressive enough.
But we're talking about personnel.
Coaching decisions.
And personnel.
Because Doug would not have found himself in that position that Kyle Shanahan was.
I wasn't going there with
therefore,
that.
I was. Wait, hold on. I'm not done.
Okay.
You talk. I'm not done. So,
go ahead.
Getting that's the first point. I think it's being way overblown. I think in the end, as long as it's a cohesive unit,
yes,
that they're all on the same page, I'm fine with it.
Can I just respond to that before you move on to the next point?
Yeah.
That's a little bit where I'm on the fence with it, because I've seen too many times with this organization that they're putting more hats on the head coach.
Yes.
So I feel like this could either be an ultimate success or a complete disaster. Because now, instead of having that coordinator who is in kind of more of a established position to help to oversee all these other areas of coaching, Doug now has to, in my opinion, is now going to have to take more time to overlook or oversee a lot of that.
Not necessarily, as it was.
I hear what you're saying.
As it was announced that they released in an article by BGN, they released what Scangarello's responsibility as the senior offensive assistant would be. and it is as the guy that everyone, all the position coaches and the run game coordinators, special teams coordinators, passing game coordinators, they're going to be in charge of specific game planning and game structure on, week in, week out basis. Everything goes to Scangarello, the senior offensive assistant, and then once he oversees everything, then it goes to Doug. All right, so Doug still has help. He's not doing everything by himself. But the reason why, I agree with his whole argument, but I agree to the poll because I'm looking at the fact that they made the right decision at this point in time based on the information that was given at this point in time.
I can see that.
So regardless of whatever, none of us really can know for sure unless we were in the building what exactly happened with all these interviews.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure if they completely botched them. We don't know if these guys just weren't the right guys. We don't know if they wanted to do their due diligence, which honestly I don't mind them doing their due diligence. And if the other guys wanted to just stay at their spots rather than wait, then they weren't the right guys.
Yeah.
None of us know. Maybe they did botch it, maybe they didn't. But at the end of the day, the truth definitely is that it's a turn off to some people, to some candidates that they wouldn't be able to call plays. But that wasn't going to change.
Yeah.
Doug P is always going to be the one calling plays, just like Kyle Shanahan does. So it's ultimately on him. And so the way I see it, if you're going to have that, then naming an offensive coordinator, coordinator just to name an offensive coordinator
for the sake of doing
it is just it's irrelevant. Like, to me, the fact that they put the certain guys that they did in the spot, like learning more about Scangarello, I'm very excited because what they say about Scangarello is exactly what we need here in the coaching staff. Also, they still kept Stoutland as running game coordinator and added another the defensive line coach, which is a little weird. I will say that's weird to have defensive line coach as run game coordinator. But
that's solely for the defense.
You sure?
I'm positive.
He's with,
he's a defensive line coach and run game coordinator for the defense.
Okay, all right.
I can see where you get, because I was thinking the same.
Yeah. Okay, so then you're right. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
So I think that the overall how everything is working would have been the same way it's working if they had named an offensive coordinator or not.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens, it's just like with the Niners. Kyle Shanahan with the Niners was the one calling plays. He was one in charge of the offense and oversaw everything. But he had a lot of different people helping him. It's going to be the same thing with the Eagles and Doug Peterson. He has always been the one calling plays, the one overall in charge. But he's going to have a lot of people helping him, mainly Scangarello. And I think that's, reading more about it now, that's an underrated hire. I love that hire.
Now,
and I think that it's going to fit well with what he does. What we do here in Philly.
My biggest fear is, and we talked about this weeks ago into the process, is we hired a lot of young guys, and we promoted a lot of young guys. We promoted Press Taylor. These guys have higher aspirations. So this collective unit that we have, how long can we keep it together? That's my one worry. So, and it's like, for me.
Well, if you succeed, not very long.
And now this is right. With success comes change. And this also shows to me if it doesn't, and it does go down in a ball of flames.
You can't keep it together either. You're kind of damned if you do and damned
but
if you
at
don't.
This point, you have no OC. It was Doug's ultimate decision not to name an OC. So now who to blame? Who does the blame fall on?
That's my biggest concern, is I think that Doug pretty much took a torch to his own seat.
Yeah.
And
it's hot.
And
I would agree with that.
That's created,
the best thing
but
you
it
said.
should have been the same thing the whole time, though. Everyone knew, everyone that when the Eagles were doing bad in the middle of the season, the people that were not blaming Doug and blaming mainly Groh didn't see the whole thing. Like I said, we all knew that this was Doug's offense, and he deserved criticism when they were struggling. So that's not changed. I don't think that the torch is any hotter now than it was before. I think it's just now people don't have that name to use as a scapegoat. Like nothing has changed in terms of of Doug being in charge. He's still in charge. It's still his offense. He deserves the blame when it goes bad, and he deserves the credit when it goes right.
All right, let me get to the fam over here. Tom Arnone, yo, boys, what's up, Tom? Stephen White, what's up, boys? What's up, Stephen? David Roscoe, what's up, boys? My Angels are so pissed off about the long trade. Yeah, but aren't your Dodgers, because they're both your teams, happy about the trade?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Who are you, an Angels fan or a Dodgers fan?
He's just an LA fan.
Are we a Chargers fan?
Not
Are we a
allowed to
Rams fan?
Not allowed to have two teams.
Is he a Clippers fan tonight?
He's
or
an
a
area
Lakers
fan.
I can't figure it out.
Not allowed to have two teams.
Chad Moses says Matt Damon. I don't know what that means.
I have no idea.
Stephen White says, any word on why Robbie Anderson's having dinner with Ertz, Jackson, and Wentz? My son got a notice on Twitter. Haven't seen anything. Maybe
I
we'll
haven't seen anything.
we'll take a peek and see if we can find something, but I haven't heard anything about that. Tom says to the poll, I agree. We all know who calls the plays up in here. Frank says, hey, yo, started body at work. He agrees with the poll. Brakeman loves that there's no OC, all on Doug.
Yep.
Stephen White, looks like Brett Brown figured out the problem by having Horford come off the bench.
We said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've been saying that.
Bill says he just called a timeout to try and figure out how he can try to blow this 12-point lead. It was a little while ago. They did blow the 12-point lead, by the way.
Yeah. I think I only have like 4
Jake,
or 5.
Jake Friel, what's up, boys? To the poll, I agree. Greg Malakovic, agree to the poll just because we all know who will be too. We all know who will be too. I don't even know what that's. Oh, to blame. He added that in.
Okay.
I was like, what? That's not a. Jason Fernandez, I feel like having two heads is always better than one. Having someone to challenge Doug will benefit everyone.
But now they have a Hydra.
Yeah. Brett Savage says the XFL is actually pretty good.
It was surprisingly
way more than I thought it was going to be.
3.3 million viewers.
I gotta say that's pretty good.
That's a good number.
And a lot of the feedback is really good too.
Yeah.
They outsold the AAF before kickoff.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Bill Middlebrook, I disagree with the poll. So when we see shitty play calling this year,
just blame it where it's supposed to be.
Grow, just remember who was to blame.
Yeah.
And he says, "What? Everybody blamed Grow. Now we'll see what happens. Let's see what Doug has." I mean, yeah, that's what we're kind of saying.
Now, I wouldn't say we blame Grow. Grow didn't bring a lot to the table.
He brought nothing to the table.
Blaming him and not bringing something to the table, not doing your job, not being creative enough. Those are two different things. When I look at them,
Vanilla.
Yeah.
We've said it on the show a million times for.
I blamed both. I mean,
no, I'm talking about solely on Grow. No, I blame Doug ultimately for the play calling, but at the same time, he's the one who gave him that position.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They went with Grow over Deuce.
See, my biggest thing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My biggest thing, whenever you have an OC, to me, it's like you having a head chef and an assistant, right? Grow's got to make the plate and put it there, and it's Doug's decision to, okay, it's good enough to go out on the field, right?
Yes.
There's someone else there that's making everything for you. Now it's Doug in the kitchen. That's it. Everyone else.
Well, have you not been listening to anything I said? I said it's not just him. I just explained to you how it's not just Doug. I went on a whole diatribe of how it's also Scangarello and a bunch of other people.
Right.
But you chose to not listen.
I did
Do you
listen.
not hear me?
I did hear you.
Yelling in my ear, Chuck.
You've got all these.
Yell in my ear.
Like,
You've
it's
got
not
all
just
these
Doug.
assistants. You got all these assistants. You get it's now all watered down.
It was
to where
just
it's gonna
Kyle,
be,
right? It was
it's
just
gonna
Kyle
be.
in San Fran.
But he got to the Super Bowl with a quarterback that just came off of an injury. You're
So it's
now
it's going to be you're gonna give him that,
And he's
but you're
been
not
there
gonna
less
give anything
time.
Doug. Even though Doug won playoff games with Nick Foles, who hadn't done anything at that point. You're not going to give
with
Doug
an OC.
credit.
He's never done what he's about to do. So when
it
he
was
fails,
still his
he'll be out by
offense.
midseason.
It was still his offense.
Yes.
All right. So let me say this. All right. I'm gonna be in the middle here. Okay. I still feel like not having coordinator, regardless of, Scangarello and everybody else.
Right.
The continuity of everybody streaming everything to the offensive coordinator can be affected, and by having the offensive coordinator ultimately be the guy to present the plays. I know what you're saying, and there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be helping with the scheme and develop different things. That being said, what I will sort of agree with Kevin on, I feel better about the continuity of everything being presented to Doug more aligned
Yes.
than having too many chefs in the kitchen type of thing that I worry about.
And
as opposed to having a head chef who's overseeing those chefs, who then is going to, the owner of the business or the person putting together, everything or making final decisions, the manager. So that's where I understand.
To
where
me,
he's
it is
from.
the same thing, just different titles. Like just because you don't have the title doesn't mean there's not someone doing it. It doesn't mean that
you could
it's
be
the same thing.
You could be totally right about that, but we don't 100% know that that's how it's going to work out.
But one thing
we believe that it will.
But let's say this.
But we don't know that.
But one thing we do know for sure is there are more voices this year compared to last year. Maybe there weren't enough.
And right, but
that's why I said we can't.
That's why I said it could be a disaster or it could be beautiful because you could have too many voices.
Right.
And now there's no continuity to everything.
As much as I don't like him because he's a tool, Dave Spadaro works for Philadelphia Eagles, and he's the one that came out and said the structure of how it goes, and essentially saying Scangarello is the de facto offensive coordinator.
Notice why his title is senior.
Everything goes through to everything. All the position coaches, like I said,
I get it.
Go to Scangarello just like it would go to an offensive coordinator. He just doesn't have that title.
Yeah,
it's just not that
it's all title.
But to me, that takes blame off.
Oh, no, I think it puts blame
on him,
on Doug.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's fine.
Without
but
having that's
is,
even more, which goes to my point where you just lit your own seat on fire.
True, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. So like Belichick, he's been doing things like this all. That's why you see people plucking. They just plucked Joe Judge. You know what I mean? Like he was a wide receivers coach, and now he became special teams coach. So when you have that, not necessarily like. Kyle Shanahan, he had to pick it up from somewhere. Like, he just didn't do it all on his own. You know what I mean? So, Sean McVay, same thing. So, for Doug, I'm not saying, obviously, Doug is a better leader of men, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And that's
better game manager, better
to
leader
me,
of men. Better
that's his greatest
maker.
attribute and his resiliency when it comes to coaching. And his adaptability as well. You never kind of really know. And sometimes it's kind of stale and boring. It can. But the biggest, what's not being talked about, Jeremiah Washburn is a senior defensive assistant who is now a vice director of player personnel, which that worries me a little bit because we're so close to the combine. This is a move that you already have somebody that was staffed, that you could have announced that weeks ago. And now we're 2 weeks from the combine. And we saw the other hires as well. Selleck coming in, Sproles coming in, Barwin coming in to be these scouts, which leads me to believe, like, these 10 picks that we have in the draft, like, they plan on using most of these.
Yeah, if not more.
If not trying to acquire more. So I just don't understand why. Was this guy already doing this in his role and just didn't have the title?
Maybe.
Because, like, I can understand everything else with your hires and Marco Emmanuel as your defensive backs coach. These are guys you're bringing people in, so you have to make official announcements. But Washburn was already here. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about senior defensive assistant, and now, I'm assuming he's going to be scouting offensive players as well. So.
No, that's good points.
Couple things here. I'm just going to read these couple comments, and then we're running short on the first halftime. I want to make sure we get those, not short, but I want to make sure we get the quarterbacks in before.
Oh, yeah.
Because Pete's not going to be here for the second half.
That is true.
We can always go back to this. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about this in the offseason. All right. So I don't know what Brett's saying. Something about a fight with Brock Lesnar in a 1-hour Ironman match.
What?
Bill Middlebrook says, Pete, if you're hired to make hamburgers and you put up hot dogs, it's the guys in the kitchen, not the guy handing them out. He thinks Doug's over his head, and he's with Kev. He's about to do something that he's never did before.
I could have just sworn he said the complete opposite. Did he not say a contradictory statement before?
Who?
Where he said we all know who the blame should go. And I agreed it was Doug, but now that statement says he's blaming.
No, that was Greg.
No,
this is Bill now.
That was Bill too.
This was Bill.
Yeah, like that statement's contradictory to what he had said before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know. It's doing that weird thing in my head again. Eileen says, all those voices in my head. Guys. Eileen, oh, Jesus.
God.
Make it louder.
I didn't answer
Make
that.
it louder. Make it louder.
Eileen says, hey, guys, She's disappointed that Kevin is not wearing a Pats hoodie. It's because he's predicting something tonight. She says Kevin going to grow back the beard full force.
Yes, I am.
It's getting there, and she also believes that the XFL is good.
Yes.
All right. Who's pulling the list up?
I can do it. I just got to scream.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
You want to share mics? Want to go nose to nose?
We can do the pass a
I wish I had the list here. If you want to send me the link, I can go through.
So we can still hear Chucks without the microphone. That's
Well, I'll say it and
we'll just
I'll
have
relay
Pete
it
put the
to
mic on the other side. And he can just lean in and whisper in his.
Well, no, I'll just
microphone.
we'll start with Kevin and I'll work our way back. By the time it's Chuck's
Yeah,
turn,
and I mean
I'll have the headset.
realistically, we already know. We all gave ours last weekend.
True.
So we're more worried about what you guys are gonna do.
So, fam at home, if you were watching last week, you'll know that we played this game with myself, Chucks, and obviously Chrome. We're going to do the same game, especially for anybody who missed it. We're going to do it with Kev and obviously Pete involved. We want you guys to follow along as well. Feel free to chime in on this. What we're going to do, we're going to go team by team, and we're basically going to say who their starting quarterback will be at the start of 2020.
And there will be some discussion on some guys.
Yes.
Some we're just going to kind of float through.
Yeah, there's the easy ones, and then obviously there's a lot of projected turnover. Do you guys have any preference on where you want to start, which conference, which division?
Nope. I don't want to know what's coming. Just bring
All
it.
right, well then we'll start off with a bang. We're going to go with the AFC East.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh.
Okay. 2 out of the 4 we know.
Chrome, do you want me to just ask all of you guys to give us all 4? That way we run through it faster? Or do you want to go one by one?
I mean, we should have some commonalities there. There should be a lot of commonalities, too.
So, Kev, I'll start with you. Let's say the Jets. We all know who it is. Do we all need to comment on that
Sam
one?
Darnold.
Syndrome.
Yeah, Darnold's going to stay.
Syndrome from Incredibles.
Bills, we know.
Yeah, Allen
Yes.
staying.
Miami Dolphins.
I think they saw enough out of the Magic Man to bring him back, to keep him there.
Agreed. It's going to be Fitzmagic.
Yeah,
You think it's going to be Fitzmagic?
yeah, Fitzmagic will stay.
Yeah, I said Fitzmagic.
So
They're
Fitzmagic
drafting Tua.
Fitzmagic with 2-0.
Well, I mean, honestly, I could just go through the list.
Brady will be back.
Nope.
Brady will not be back.
Brady is gone.
I have a few possibilities of where he could go, but I believe that he will be back.
Okay, so I'm going Jarrett Stidham, and I am going they either
Wait, you're saying that if Brady doesn't come back, they don't bring anybody in to start?
have
This is
Jarrett-
game one starter.
you have Jarrett Stidham, and I think they may draft a young QB that he likes.
Young QB.
To put this in perspective, they brought in Cody Kessler to back him up because they didn't trust Stidham enough.
Listen,
Trust me, I liked him too until that happened.
you either got Stidham or you got Dalton.
Well,
I'm
it's also
going
a
with Stidham
year
right
later.
now. I'd rather go with somebody that's already on the roster. I just know Brady will not be there. And moving on.
Well, I just know you're wrong. So that's
Okay. Mine? I forget who I said last year. Or last week.
how much time did I miss?
said Brady.
Is this 2021 already?
Last week, I forget who I said. I honestly, I think it was a draft pick. I think I said, but
Okay.
I could be wrong. I totally forget. But I'll go with draft pick.
Oh, Jake Fromm, maybe.
That's who I'm going. I'm going Andy.
Jake Fromm.
I'm going Andy Dalton starting, but they draft Jake Fromm.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm gonna update it. I'm gonna say Josh Rosen.
Ooh.
Oh.
I liked that suggestion last week, so
I can't
I'll
remember
go
who
with
I
Josh
said last
Rosen.
week
None
either.
of these rhyme with Fady. So I just
Huh?
You did not say Brady.
I did not say Brady.
Yeah, we didn't say Brady.
I don't remember who.
So
I
Brady's-
said.
Has anybody seen that he basically told the Patriots, "Get me a weapon and I will play. I don't want the money." Has nobody seen that?
only
They said go
only,
Last
they
year.
no. As of
Just
like
kidding.
a couple of days ago, he said, "Get me the weapons and I will play."
lies.
Lying.
I
No
hear
lies.
truth. Okay.
It's-
So
It's not about whether he wants to be back. It's
See,
whether
I could see two
Belichick
guys.
wants him back.
Kraft wants him. That's who's made that
With the
It
decision.
just
Belichick?
depends. I could see Philip Rivers landing there as a one-year stopgap.
No.
I could see Jameis Winston landing there.
Wait, you wouldn't want Philip
I
Rivers? You
think
love
that
Philip Rivers.
That might have been who I said last week, Jameis Winston.
I'm not going to get rid of H to bring in H.
That's one of the smartest things you said.
Well,
30 and 30? Yeah, no thank you.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal. If Tom isn't the quarterback there next year, it's not because they're getting rid of Tom. He's walking away for something else. So they're going to bring
I mean, they had their chance to they could have not back or front ended this contract and negated 2 years to get rid of him. So this is mutual in trying something out there.
Going with Jameis Winston. That's my final answer.
Okay.
Did you give yours, Pete?
Yeah.
You say it's Tom Brady, right?
No.
Who would you say?
I said Stidham in the
That's
draft
right.
pick.
That's
yeah.
right. You did.
Let's go to the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers.
So we kind
Do
of
we need to do the Ravens?
and
No.
do we need to do the Ravens or Bengals?
Browns.
We don't need the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. We already know who those three are. I'm fairly say.
I think Big Ben comes back for the Steelers.
No.
Yeah, I think Ben will be back
Yeah, I
for
think
one more
Ben will be
year.
back one more year.
So that's
I
really the
think
whole
he'll-
division. We all know the Bengals are going Joe Burrow.
yeah.
So and you know the Ravens got the MVP Lamar, and the Browns are going to start Baker.
I mean, they're committed
That's
to
a-
Baker at
Yep.
this point. They're
it's
married
pretty
to
much
him
the-
right now.
Roethlisberger has still yet to say whether he's retiring yet.
They had the best defense in the league last year,
But I would be
stats wise.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't come back for one more year.
Yeah.
But if he does he take a back seat
No.
to train
No.
somebody else?
Ben
No.
will never.
No.
He will never come
Nope.
back.
No.
The AFC South.
All right, so we've got the Jags.
So you got the
Gardner
Minshew.
Minshew.
Okay, we're in agreement there.
Colts is tricky.
That's the wild
Colts
card.
is tricky. You think they'll draft someone?
Rivers. I think they draft someone and they may go
They could
Rivers.
draft
I
someone.
think I'm with you on Philip Rivers there.
Now that could be also another landing spot for Jake Fromm too.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we all know the Texans Deshaun, and the Titans are going to be Tanny.
Ryan Tannehill, baby.
So Tannehill and Watson. And I think that they draft a backup for the Colts and stick with Brissett.
Yeah, draft about. Yeah.
The AFC West. Broncos, Chiefs.
Best player in the league. You already know.
Broncos is going to be. I think they're going to stick it with Drew Lock. Obviously,
Agreed.
they like him.
Agreed.
We obviously know Chiefs. Chargers. I forget who I picked.
I think I agree with you on that. I think
Cam?
it's where Cam wins.
Cam Newton. Either them or Herbert.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Herbert.
I think Cam Newton lands there. Makes a lot of sense too.
That's a good pick to play there.
What happened?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Cam. And
Yeah, now that you mentioned Cam,
LA.
that's a good fit there, actually.
yeah, Cam in
Yeah.
LA would be.
Yeah.
He'd fit there too.
If
Yeah.
It's
He's
definitely
already
good.
dressing like he's there, so.
I'm about to say.
I was going to say the same
I
thing.
wasn't gonna say it, but I figured my implication would be enough.
And the Vegas Raiders.
I have two. I have Carr
And one.
and long shot for Brady.
So I had the exact same answer last
Yeah.
week.
I say Winston.
No,
Goes
Jameis
outside.
Winston and Gruden would not get. Nope. No. No. No, I don't see it. I don't see
I
it.
think he goes there.
I don't
No.
see it.
No.
No.
Ready for this? Carr starts, but they draft Tua Tagovailoa.
Are they before the Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Nah, I think the Dolphins. I think
No,
he,
no,
I don't,
Dolphins. I think Dolphins going to.
See them trading up with the Lions.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Unless the Lions want to go quarterback too.
All right. So we're gonna.
They
go.
love Stafford.
They should.
Like they should. I'm just saying, unless if they do. I'm saying because it's not like Stafford's any younger.
I'm gonna stick with Brady here with Vegas.
Okay.
With Vegas.
Let's go to the NFC. Obviously, the NFC East. That's the easy one.
Is it easy, Kevin?
Is it easy?
Is it easy, Kevin?
Is the NFC East easy? Who's starting for the Eagles?
Wentz.
Ginger.
You'll have idiots
Nick
asking for that.
Foles.
So we have Tom Brady, right?
No.
Tom Brady
No, I'm
for the
saying in
Cowboys.
division for the Cowboys.
Tom
So-
Brady for the Cowboys.
Yes. So yeah. Do you?
So I
Give
will
you
say,
okay.
I do have Brady coming back to the New England, but if there is any team out there with a
Timestamp
shot
it.
to go, It will be to Dallas.
And I did it before we got on the air.
I hope it happens.
And I'm going to shoot that shit down right now because the idea of, I don't care what Jerry Jones or Cowboys camp comes out and says they would like to do. If you franchise tag Dak Prescott and bring in Tom Brady for 1 year, you've just shown Dak Prescott that you don't believe he's going to get you there.
He's not going to sign
And
him.
I could tell you right now, there are
They'll
a lot
do it
of
beforehand.
teams. There are a lot of teams in this league that'll throw a lot of money at Dak Prescott to be their quarterback. I'm not the biggest Dak lover, but I will say this. I think Dak is very underrated by a lot of Philadelphia.
If
Yes.
you trade him, wherever he goes, he's got to get paid. That's the issue.
Well, yeah,
That's
a
what I'm
team
saying.
will pay him.
New England won't. If that's what
okay.
you're saying, New England won't.
So are they going to pay Tom Brady $25 million and Dak Prescott, whatever the average salary is, the top 3 players of his position? That's like $50 or $60 million committed to your quarterback position alone.
I am praying that Jerry Jones.
Think about it reasonably. If you're Tom Brady, there's a couple things you need to go any team, regardless of who it is. An offensive line, because you can't run. You need a running back to open up underneath game. You need a speedy receiver. And you need ties coaching-wise because of how strong-headed you are.
Dude, there's a lot of teams
All
in
of
this
that
league that
happens
can
there.
provide that, though. There's a lot of teams.
Not really.
It's not possible. I'm telling
Chargers
you right now,
can.
they are not gonna sacrifice Dak Prescott for 1 year of an aging Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
You're not even guaranteed to have Amari Cooper back
I want them
next
to
year.
so bad.
The tag date, free agency tag date is March 10th, I believe. That you tag him before that and you get him to sign. Jerry Jones will sell his soul.
So they're gonna
bring him in.
they're gonna be
That's
sneaky,
the deadline.
and
That's
they're
the
gonna-
deadline to offer it. He doesn't have to sign it by that deadline.
So
They
Dak
wanna
can wait.
So,
Dak can
so
wait
what
and
this
not
sounds
sign
like
it.
is like the mastermind plan is we're going to tell Dak he's the quarterback, and we're going to sign him to a franchise tag. And then once he puts pen to paper, we're going to be like, fuck you, dude. We're bringing in Tom Brady, sucker. And he's going to sit on the sidelines for a year. I'm telling you, dude, it's not ever. And I'm not doubting they've said that that's something they would like to do. They can't be that stupid.
It's Jerry
They
Jones.
can't. I don't care.
I really hope.
I don't care
I
how.
really hope.
And I'm not
hoping
even.
and
I'm not
praying
even
he
totally
doesn't.
knocking you for bringing it up when you brought it up before the show.
Right.
Because if that's a real thing, they're stupider than I thought. They are who we thought they were.
It's Jerry Jones.
Think
That's
about
the
all of the
dumbest thing
trades
I've
that they've
ever-
done in the past to fish out talent.
Listen,
It's
man,
something that they've
they've
brought up.
They have. I don't care what anybody says. He may not be the top elite. I do believe that Dak is a franchise quarterback in this league.
He's a very good
And
quarterback.
he
He played better than Brady did last
He
year.
sure as hell did. Tom Brady is on the downside. And we don't know how Tom Brady's going to be away from Bill Belichick. There could be a major element of his success that it goes to the system.
Yeah.
I just
Now, would you
yeah, I
Nick
just
Foles
I,
in New England?
I don't.
No way.
We brought that up last week. Wait, what did we say? Did we say last week? Wouldn't it be funny? If you can't beat them, join them. They're gonna sign Eli, and they're gonna trade for Nick Foles, and that's their 1 and 2 quarterbacks. You can't beat them, join them.
It's going to be a timeshare.
And the New England special would be Eli Manning falling. by week 5.
That's the
No,
New
thank
England way. There you go.
I'd rather not have a quarterback.
So
I'd rather just run the Wildcat.
No quarterbacks.
Can we just snap the ball to Sony Michel
Put,
over and over?
Put what's his name back there? The rookie who was a quarterback. Now I'm blanking on his name. Jacoby Meyer.
It might be your option then.
sounds like that sounds like a CPA firm.
Jacoby
Jacoby Myers and
Edelman
Sons.
was a quarterback.
I
Put him
will,
back there.
I will say it now. I'll use coin the Monday night phrase. I will stake my reputation on this.
Wow.
There is 0% chance that the Cowboys are that. I'm not. If Tom Brady goes to the Cowboys, Dak Prescott will not be on that football team.
No. So you
Oh,
can't
no,
have
no,
both.
he won't be.
There is 0%.
There's no way they're both
I
gonna
will
be
say
on
that
there.
there is a less than 10% chance that he ends up on the Cowboys in general, and there is a 0% chance that both quarterbacks will be on that football
Yes,
team.
I agree. 0% chance for that. I think there's a tiny
But
chance.
that's the thing that
tiny
came
chance
out
if Brady goes.
was that they would like to have both.
Oh no, there's no way.
It's not
There's no way.
possible. I'm
There's
knocking
no way.
microphone headsets off of my head.
There's no way
'cause I'm
both.
so flabbergasted by this.
Wow.
There's no way both.
It's like I said earlier. I would love to have an NBA team that has Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Ben Simmons on my bench. Give me Harden. I know not everybody likes him, but we need a little bit of that swag off the bench. Give me Harden. Give me Steph Curry. Give me them all.
Mr. Step Back.
I like it. It ain't happening.
No. So, with all that being said, Dak is the quarterback. I think they bring him back. You already got Dwayne Haskins in Washington.
Yeah.
You got Daniel Jones in New York.
Yeah, I think that's the division with the least amount of moves.
Right.
This
concerning.
So
this division is so set with young quarterbacks, and
Yeah.
for the next decade, this division could be set at quarterback.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't. Well, first of all, I don't think the Washington Redskins one will be settled in the next couple of years, and I don't know necessarily
Donnie Jones either. He's a question mark still.
Donnie Jones.
I mean, Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Jones, Donnie Jones. Well, exactly. I don't even know his name.
What's the next division, Ryan?
NFC South.
Ooh.
I am confident in him. By the way, I think he's a very good quarterback. I think he's a
Yeah.
lot better than we gave him credit for
Yeah.
coming out of the draft.
Daniel Jones.
I got no problem saying.
I want to see what he does with the
I think
new
he's an okay
coaching
quarterback.
staff. to
I think
bring him along.
I think he will be a step above. I think he's a better, more skilled version of Eli.
Okay.
Because they look
But
alike.
I could see
Can
his.
actually run a
But I
bootleg with
could
Daniel
see
Jones.
his playing
can
style.
move.
I feel like he is very similar to Eli, but I think he's much more athletic and much more skilled.
He's essentially your West Coast quarterback. He's your prototypical West Coast quarterback. Can move and is accurate in the short and intermediate levels of the field. That's his game.
He's Matt Ryan light.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. He's Matt Ryan light. I'm down with that, Ryan. I like that.
AFC South.
NFC South.
Oh, I'm sorry, AFC South.
Yeah. So we got
Go back to the Jaguars.
Let's
Panthers.
So we got Panthers, Falcons, Bucks, and Saints. So
Falcons.
let's go with the Falcons. That's the easiest
Matt
one.
Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Everything else is up for grabs.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, New Orleans.
If you're gonna say start,
Drew
it's-
Brees. Drew Brees.
It
going
is
into
Drew
Taysom.
Brees.
Sorry.
They're bringing
Drew
Drew
Brees, yeah,
Brees
brings him
back
back,
this
yeah.
year to bridge this year. That's
Yeah.
already been said.
I'm ahead by a year. Sorry.
But
So-
Taysom Hill will be the guy
Okay, so Taysom Hill, and then Carolina.
after this year.
Carolina, could you go?
Teddy Bridgewater.
I
Yep,
like that.
that's my play.
That's where my mind went. Teddy Bridgewater. Who? Herbert. Justin Herbert.
Matt Rule's going to want his college guy.
I can see that.
Didn't you say Herbert for another team?
If the Chargers don't get
Right.
Okay.
So
To me, it's Teddy Bridgewater. This is a great spot for him to
what
land.
about Bridgewater
and Herbert.
for the Chargers?
It could make sense. I think they're going to go for a name. I could also see. I could see Teddy Bridgewater landing in Indianapolis too.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater's a good quarterback.
But Teddy Bridgewater to me is just a better Jacoby Brissett.
Agreed.
I think he's steady. I think he
I think
gets
he's-
you there.
I
if
think
you
he's-
if you throw another piece around him,
He's
agree.
solid.
I
I don't
think-
think there's anything flashy.
you got to remember he played with arguably the number one receiver in Michael Thomas, and then great weapons.
Offensive
See,
line.
The
great
thing with Teddy Bridgewater
coach.
is, I believe you can win a Super Bowl with Teddy Bridgewater. Now you're going to have to build the right team around him.
Right.
But I don't look at him as a pushover. I think he's a quarterback you can definitely win a Super Bowl with if he stays healthy.
Oh yeah, you can win. Yeah. I mean, the Broncos won. Broncos won with
Push that.
with Peyton Manning, who was the worst quarterback in the league
yeah.
that year. So
That's why I think the smart move is to keep Teddy in New Orleans, but I don't think they want to
They're
pay
not
off
gonna get-
3.
Well, the problem
Yeah, no.
too is they've already made it known that Drew's coming back to bridge to
Taysom.
Taysom.
Hill.
but
So-
I don't think that was an organization standpoint. I think that was Breeze put his hand on Taysom's back and said, "This is who I want."
But everything that's
Once I step
right,
out,
but everything
that's
that,
why I'm coming back is to
everything that's come out of
bring
New
him around.
Orleans though is Taysom Hill's the next guy.
Yeah.
Right.
It is definitive. They have already decided that Drew Brees is bridging the gap to him this year. So Drew's probably done after this year.
Yeah.
So
His arm's been done since 2012.
yeah, I agree.
See, my thing is,
I was saying the same thing,
Oh,
but
we're gonna
people
move
thought
to
I
the
was
next one in
crazy.
a
I
second.
was just
I know.
saying.
I think
I'm just saying.
I think he's one of the most
Say the same
overrated
thing.
QBs of
people,
all time.
people thought I was crazy. Like, oh, you don't have.
I think he's one of the most overrated QBs of all
We're
time.
pushing short on time. I want to get to the next one.
All right, so no, we Tampa Bay.
Brady.
Yep.
Yeah, we said Brady.
I
right?
definitely I'm like 75% sure. It's Florida,
Yeah.
no state income tax, and there's very few places where he can go where he would have the weapons like he would have in Tampa Bay, and the head coach and the defensive coordinator all well respected.
And he would only be an hour and a half from Disney World.
This is going to be
and he's decided WrestleMania 36.
Bruce
And the Flyers scored to tie it up. Down 3-0, came back.
With
Let's go.
With Bruce Arians there, this is the landing spot. We're going to finally see for sure if Marcus Mariota is the real deal.
No. Marcus Mariota.
Can't let
Tom
go
Brady.
of the
Tom Brady's
QBs of
not going there.
2015, huh?
yeah,
He said-
Brady won't go there.
You don't think so?
I don't think Tom Brady ends up there.
That'll be Rivers. It'll be one of the two.
It was one of them.
I could see Rivers there.
I told you where I think Rivers is going.
2015 draft team.
My issue is I don't think Arians wants to groom a guy to put there. I don't think he's gonna.
Well,
go.
then they're going to draft someone to play behind the groom behind Brady.
I think they're going to take a flyer on Marcus Mariota, and they're going to draft a quarterback.
I think they draft the
And if
quarterback.
Mariota
regardless.
could stay healthy, I think Mariota could fit in that offense. He's got a ton of weapons around him at this point. If he can't play with that team with all those weapons, they're done. I will say this, and I've told you this. I would love to see Tom Brady go to Tampa Bay because I have been dying since fucking draft night to have a quarterback with O.J. Howard that can actually show that this guy's an elite tight end. This is a top 5 tight end in this league, and you
They
can't.
have two of
Islanders
them.
scored.
You have no
they didn't.
idea.
Less than a minute left. Islanders scored. This is behind. The stream is behind.
Oh,
Gotta be.
But you
kidding
have
me.
you have no
Brady-
idea because of the fact that you've had Jameis Winston down there all these fucking years.
But he threw 30 touchdowns.
Fuck him.
He just got paired with 30 interceptions.
Last division. We have two more, but the one's easy. The West is the easiest one.
Yeah. You got Goff, Wilson, Garoppolo, Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's,
Yeah, that's
no
set.
changes to that. That's set. NFC North. Well,
Rodgers, Stafford.
it is
Rodgers,
going
Stafford.
right. Rodgers, Stafford,
Kirk.
and Mitchell
Chicago's
Trubisky.
the one.
I'm going Chicago is going to go with a dual threat quarterback offense with Mitchell and Mariota, like they did with the Saints.
Interesting.
Nope.
Telling you,
Nope.
they fit. They're the same guy. They're the same guy.
All right. Well, let's say this then. In terms of that, though, Mitchell Trubisky is still the starting quarterback there. They can alternate whatever, but Mitchell Trubisky is the starting quarterback there.
Yeah, 'cause the other one gets hurt.
Right. It's Mitchell Trubisky.
Okay.
Mitchie Pill.
Yeah, I think they just stay, run-of-the-mill Mitchie there. They're not going to throw anything in there.
You mean Goat Mitchie?
No,
Stop it.
I did not mean
How stupid can you be? Stop.
Are you sure they're down?
That's what I'm saying.
I got the alert. Look.
Somebody just said me that it was 3-3. So unless
Yeah.
I'm,
And then I got a
literally just sent it to me.
Yahoo Sports. Philadelphia 3, Islanders 4.
Oh,
Goal
never
by
mind. Yeah, it's over.
Ron
And they
Paul.
had an empty netter. It's over.
They'll get him again.
They tied it up late too. That concludes the game.
All right, guys. Great first half.
Au revoir, sirs.
Heat's going to be dropping out. Mr. Brodo, we're going to throw a headset on you for the second half, sir. We're going to talk.
Literally throw it on your head.
We're going to talk.
And I'll leave with this before we go to break. And I'll pose this, and I'll just listen on the way while I watch it. Did John Jones win the fight Saturday? I've heard he did not. He should not have won the fight
No,
Saturday.
he did not win that fight.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in no huddle. We'll
That's
definitely get to
fine.
that.
See?
Yeah. So, first half, you could, if you got to run, you can run. Go ahead.
No.
First half of the show, again, guys, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, brought to you by ATS Sports Pick
And Buck Gutter.
And Buck Gutter, our Gutter guys. So check them out. Again, second half, we'll talk XFL, and we'll do no huddle. We'll talk what looks like it's going to be a Sixers win.
Good Sixers win tonight.
What's up, fam? I can't hear if I'm on or not. I told you that. It's weird. I don't know. It like goes in and out. It could be my hearing. I don't know. I'm half deaf half the time anyway. Well, welcome back, guys. Tuesday night, Birds of a Feather live on a2dradio.com. We're in the Real Talk studios. We're brought to you by our doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal. Find him in Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. Find the doctor on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. We're also brought to you by Buck Services, gutter cleaning, any kind of deck restoration, deck installation, gutter guard installation, gutter cleaning, whatever you guys need. They do a gamut of things. They do tree trimming, all kinds of stuff. Find them at ambuckservices.com or at 856-879-5530. Our ATS Sports Picks conversation point that we talked about in the first half was the Eagles' decision to not have an offensive coordinator, the right one. Do you agree that it is? Do you disagree that it was? So we can continue to talk about that. But with that, too, don't forget, guys, for all you betting junkies, hit up atsportspick.com. Use the promo code A2D. Get 20% off all your purchases. March Madness around the corner, guys. I'm telling you, great time to invest in that, especially go for the big package. Make the most bang for your buck because you're an A2D fan member. We want to get into the XFL, guys. XFL. The resurgent XFL. Debuted to, I believe, 3.3 million viewers? Was that the correct number? 3.3?
Yeah, 3.3.
3.3 million viewers for the debut game on ABC.
It's like a mesh of both of your worlds, wrestling and football.
Well, that's the thing. It's not, which is why it worked this time. It was when it didn't work the first time.
Yeah.
They still should have kept the jersey names, though. Pick what you want.
You hate me?
I'm over it. Here's what all right, so let's touch on a couple points. First of all, the fact that they didn't parade Vince out there and do all that stuff like they've done before, great move. That alone sets a bad precedence. I want to hear your guys' feedback on the presentation first. Well, no, we could go overall. I'll give mine first. I liked the quality of the games. Much better than I thought. Much better than, what was it, the UUF
AAF.
or AAF,
Yeah.
whatever the frick it was.
Absolutely.
Quality of play was so much better. I mean, I watched a half of a quarter of an AAF game, and I was over it. The presentation was terrible. It didn't seem very legitimate. It was like a glorified high school game with like very bad high school football teams. Honestly, is the way it appeared to me. But going back and seeing the presentation of this, I enjoyed the commentary. I thought it was very good.
Steve Levy.
Steve Levy was a great choice. I really enjoyed him on commentary. I liked some of the rules. I like not having the extra point and having the 1, 2, and 3 to target for. And I think that's a whole dynamic of the game that I could see the NFL adapting at some point.
I'd go for 3 every time.
Oh, I would. Doug would.
Yeah, Doug would.
But I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Even just kind of the kickoffs to where they're together a lot closer and they kind of until the ball is actually caught.
To reduce collisions,
Yes, I love that aspect of it.
I love that.
That was a brilliant idea.
The only downside that you take away is, obviously the whole thing's a different format. You can score more points now with the extra points 1, 2, and 3, but you create a shorter field altogether.
I'm okay with that, though.
You're gonna see you're not gonna see as many deep plays because they're not gonna be there. You're playing 35 down on a good return.
I would agree with that, but I would counter with that though that I feel like
these aren't those type of players that do it anyway.
Right, but I feel that's a fair point. I feel like the speed of the game though, like when you have time of possession exchange more because of a shorter field to work with, I do feel like the speed of the game seems a lot faster. And I think that ultimately, too, the difference is in the NFL, you do have those really long, sustained drives that you see. You're not going to see that here, so I feel like the players are going to be fresher as the game goes on. Here's what I could do without, big time. I can do without miking up the head coaches. I don't like hearing the play calling and this and that. I could do without. I don't mind some of the sideline interviewing during the game. I felt like it was excessive to the point where it's annoying. As a player, I'm now getting annoyed that after every play you have a mic in somebody's face.
Yeah,
it was a little too much, a little too gimmicky for me.
Draw it back, bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, and I understand, the XFL, their whole concept that they talked about from the outgoing was, we want to open the doors and bring the fans into the action. And that is a very WWE type of a mentality type of thing. But there's got to be a point where you got to preserve some of the sanctity of the game. I don't like the idea of exposing the play calling constantly on a microphone.
Yeah.
To me, that takes away from the game planning. But that aside, I enjoyed it. The fact that it exceeded my expectations as much as it did, my expectations weren't incredibly high, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. Like, I will go back and watch more games. I couldn't even get through a quarter of the AAF.
I think it kind of created the perfect storm for them because you figure the Arena Football League, as of this year, is defunct.
Is it officially defunct, or is it on hold right now?
I think that
I thought last I heard that they were kind of shutting down operations for the time being. It's probably going to be defunct.
Well, they froze everything in the beginning of the year. Then they played a season and then froze everything again at the end. Said, "Okay, we're really out of money this time. We're not bringing in enough sales." And then you have
sounds like TNA.
then you have the AAF come up and they say, okay, well, we can't do anything because we're out of money.
Right.
Then you have a global franchise-backed league, obviously the WWE, the whole universe, everything that they have going on, being able to put money into funding, get, primetime games, you're able to fill larger stadiums, and then go out and actually sign players and offer them true money, where you're stealing talent now from guys that would have been in the CFL up in Canada. You've got guys that would have gone into other avenues altogether, and bringing in true names You have a few players that were played in Super Bowls. You have not that they were great names or big names, but you have guys that are willing to come here and play to try to rekindle something.
Chuck's boy.
Oh,
Donnell.
Donnell Palmquist.
And Qualls.
Elijah Qualls.
Isaac, they're on the same team. Teammates again. Reunited and it feels so good.
Copyright.
Chucks.
Sorry.
Not if I sing it.
Is it bad
Doesn't sound like the same song when I sing it.
that I literally walked through my front door, turned on the television, turned on the XFL, and what's the second play I see?
Donnell
Is it the Donnell Pumphrey thing?
Entering the end zone and once again entering my friggin' life.
You love it.
He just
You
won't
love
leave
it.
me be.
You
Hey,
love
number
it.
one on the field.
I love
Shut up, Kevin.
I loved it. I
think it's
I wanted to
great.
love it, but why? And you know Howie's, you know the meme with Howie with the binoculars? Yeah. Just looking, oh my God, when all three of our running backs get hurt, here he is.
yes.
He's coming back.
He's developing.
That's why I drafted him. Forget about how he fumbled 7 times in back-to-back preseasons.
Speaking of players in Philly, how do we feel about not having a team in Philly?
Listen, we're fine.
Can I?
Well,
Yeah, I don't.
think
I
we're
mean,
fine.
would it be nice to? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not something where I'm like, this is a travesty. You know what I mean? Like, it's
How dare
what I
they.
will say is, and I don't have any like stats or numbers to back this up. It's just a hunch, but I feel like part of the reason why the XFL also is getting off to a good foot and looking better than the AAF. When I looked back at the AAF teams, all those cities were just like secondary,
Yep.
like
Yep.
it was
low market, random cities. But then you look at the XFL and it's major markets.
Yeah.
And to me, that's if you're gonna do something like this, I would think you would go to major markets unless I'm missing something. But
I think that's the funding side because you have to pay to be in those stadiums. And,
okay, so the
to
fun
play.
because
yeah,
since Vince had the money,
right,
sitting in his couch cushion, be like, oh, I want
Right.
to do XFL.
yeah.
he was able to do that. Okay, makes sense.
And you have
Linda,
to,
I'm taking money out of the bank.
We're gonna pull money out of Stephanie's and Shane's trust. Here's the thing too. Like, I actually believe that this league has a good chance to survive.
Yes,
I do.
I do.
And
I hope it does.
At least for a while. Me too. Competition breeds, or success breeds competition, right?
I think it's the other way around. Competition breeds
Well,
success.
whatever. One of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other.
It sounded
doesn't
good, Chrome. It sounded really
But we
good.
get to
I
just-
started saying it the right
get-
way, and
yeah.
I totally went
It
backwards.
sounded really good.
Anyway,
I believe it.
competition breeds success, right? Is that what
Boom.
we're doing?
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
Boom.
So what I like about it, it does feel like, and again, I'm not calling them NFL competition. They're not even trying to run against the NFL.
Yeah.
But what I see, right? We're not
The
talking
AEW
It is
of the
AEW.
NFL.
Oh my God!
Oh, is this a wrestling thing?
Yes, you had to be there.
I'm just
You had to be
kidding.
there.
But here's what I'll say. Vince proved it the first time around. He has such a creative mind to where there were aspects of the first XFL, as much of a train wreck as it was, that the NFL looked at, and you could watch the what was it, 30 for 30 about the XFL and see even things with the camera angles and different things and ways to present the game to make us as a viewer feel more engaged with the game. Now, taking a different approach and having more of a serious mentality about it, taking into safety, let's not forget
Kickoffs,
this was
yeah.
the same league, although they don't acknowledge it like they are. It's the same league that the first go around, the first launch, guys were running for the football, and the
Yeah.
guy got hurt on the very first
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Was out for the year with a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
So, now looking at it and taking in even just kind of the things that we've learned about the game and what can be, an injury risk, and being able to be the first ones to present these ideas, even if they aren't going to succeed. And let's just say that. I've already seen aspects of this game that there's no question in my mind the NFL would take a look at and eventually incorporate. So that alone to me makes it successful in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear that there's going to be that there are changes that they made. But again, when you talk about the cities and stuff that they're in, I think a lot of that too is having a place to play. I mean, realistically, maybe they could play in Chester where the Union play at.
Oh,
But I don't even know.
but isn't that just? I don't know.
I mean, I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
places.
I mean,
'cause
given the time frame, why couldn't they play at the link?
that's
yeah,
never
they
going to
wouldn't do that.
happen.
Jeffrey Lurie wouldn't do that.
That's
He would
just
never.
not going to happen.
No.
No chance.
I mean, the Chargers play in a soccer stadium.
Which is why,
Yeah.
realistically, now when does the MLS season end?
Oh, I have I don't.
So that
I don't
alone
watch that
right
program.
there, that's an effect on it right there.
Yeah.
But, I just
Good points. No, good points.
You know,
yeah.
I could see if this league is around in 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
I think Philadelphia would absolutely be a market that they would look at. But they're not in a position now to build stadiums anywhere. They have to they're smart in finding major markets
that
where
they
probably have some a facility that is a decent facility at least.
Well, the St. Louis is the perfect
Available.
example
can.
because
Yeah, it
they
was
had
vacant. Yeah.
they had one and now they don't.
So now they have a
Yeah.
team that can play in where the Rams were.
Correct.
Exactly. So I think that a lot of that comes into play.
Good points. Yeah. Yeah.
Am I upset that Philadelphia doesn't have one? No. And you know what? The good thing about it, too, if they're going to succeed in a couple of years, I can just watch the game for what it is and develop my own interest in the game so that when the time comes, hopefully, and Philadelphia could be considered if the league lasts, then I can pledge my allegiance to a league that I actually enjoy. It could happen and I could hate the league by then and not give a shit either way, not feel like I have a personal investment into it. You know, there's a lot of things I watch, and I don't vouch for this. Wrestling is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy every bit of it that I see, but because I have a personal investment into it now, I feel like I have to watch things I don't like. XFL is not one of them. I can watch it just to kind of get a grasp for the changes that they're doing. So I'm able to look at this league with different eyes that we can't normally do. We're all birthed into, whether it's our parents, it's our friends, it's where we live. We're all like, our eyes are kind of pushed to something.
Yeah.
And usually you either, you love it or you hate it and you go for the rivalry. But this you can literally look at with a fresh set of eyes. And because we don't have a team that we have to be aligned with, we can look at it objectively, which I like. It's different.
Yeah.
See, I think they're making a smart play of investing enough time and resources and money to, obviously you had one run at it, didn't work. Take a good chunk off, develop what you need to do, and do it right this time to where, I think that the true value in the organization is going to be the resale factor to the NFL.
Sure.
To where this is now, you've created a summer league, if you will, like in the NBA.
That's
so
fair.
you're signing players like Donnell Pumphrey. What happens if he goes off and has an outstanding, career? They're not giving an NFL type money to them. Granted, the contracts aren't peanuts coming from the WWE, but it's not an NFL size contract. But now, if he performs and grows and develops, that contract has to be bought out. So now, whoever it's just like a trade. You're trading within another league.
Yep.
If say the Eagles were to bring him in, just to name a team, they would have to pay off whatever is invested, and that's where your resale value is. So you don't even necessarily have to expand that much.
Yeah.
Granted, I think they will
Yeah.
from just as much as I've seen in the 1 week, but
Just a quick thing, because Eileen asked earlier about it too. Do you guys know when Kobe's service is going to be?
Didn't it happen already or no?
yeah, I believe it happened.
Last week?
Yeah.
Sunday? Am I
I
wrong?
think they're
Am I
having
totally
a
wrong?
public thing at the end of the month, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
up to
The
public.
private
Trying
one
to think
has
Yeah.
already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to do a public one. So I didn't want to think we were ignoring that.
No, that's
So
fine.
get back to what you were saying though. And you know what? That's a great point. It is kind of like a spring, you could say a spring training or a spring league or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
That's what I like about it. Like to me, like I don't even, like you guys said earlier, I don't even see it as like a competitor to the NFL.
Me neither.
Like you need, I've always said if I've always wanted some type of development or minor league to the NFL, and regardless of if that's legitimately like feasible or not for each team, each team to have like a developmental thing, at least with this league it offers a secondary type of professional league that college players can still go to and do to pursue their careers or a career in football, and it's another way of getting another set of eyes and just like I like that it's serious now, but still different. Like the different rules give me a refreshing take. Like some of them seem like out of this world. Like the 2 forward passes as long as they're behind the line of scrimmage. That's crazy. But like it's like okay, like it's not it's not nuts where I think it's being a gimmick now. It's like okay, it just adds another level of strategy.
And you're not going to see a lot of that.
You're not going to see a lot of it either. So, and then like obviously they have the one foot down rule for catches, just like in college, and the point after attempts and everything. It's football, but it's another football, and I like that. It's an alternative to the NFL where
right.
I can just sit in and enjoy and just be like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and I don't have to, there's no like emotional investment in it, but like you just have fun watching it and get new ideas, like you said.
And make no mistake about it, there will be more known names. They could be guys that didn't cut it or didn't hit their peak that was expected in the NFL. There will be more known names, and I'll even add this aspect that I enjoy. And it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it's something extra. It's the extra purse at the end of it. Winning team gets $100,000 to split for all the players. Like for me, that alone, it makes every game. It gives you an incentive to win every game, not just for the championship, for the money. What is the thing that we talk about in this sport? What motivates people? Some guys are motivated by championships. Some guys are motivated by money. Well, let's put both of them together and let's give you dual motivation. Listen, you succeed in this league and you battle hard and try to win a championship, you're going to make that extra coin in your pocket. So I like that aspect of it. And again, like we were saying, it gives it's almost like in baseball they have the independent leagues, right? It's more of a glorified because it is a national league and it's considered professional. And independent leagues are still considered professional leagues. But you've seen guys like Rich Hill. You've seen major leaguers who didn't cut it their first time in Major League Baseball and have left, and they've gone to Japan, CFL, or they've gone to independent leagues, which could be at this point what the XFL is, the XFL, and found ways to reinvent themselves, humbled themselves in some aspects, and then battle back to get another chance in the major leagues, and some of them have succeeded in that opportunity. So it gives those guys that opportunity. Or if you're an NFL player who maybe had a decent career, but for whatever reason, we see this all the time, money and things, guys get pushed out of the leagues. It's another opportunity for certain, and I'm not even talking about like criminal stuff, but maybe there is a drop off in their skills to where they're not at an NFL level, but they can still go somewhere and contribute to another league.
Christian Michael was one of the. Remember Christian Michael from the Seahawks? He was he was a journeyman running back, and then he wasn't bad at a point, and then now I see him in the XFL. It's pretty good. It's
Jonas
cool.
Gray.
Jonas,
4 touchdowns,
there
200
you go.
yards.
1 week, and then
1 week.
And next week gone.
I think he just drew a bad straw of being on the Patriots who don't respect running backs in general.
Yeah, they just want healthy bodies.
But I think even an additional fold as far as giving players the ability to go to a place, either undrafted players who get national TV time instead of going up to Canada, and then aging players, your TOs, your guys like that level that can still go and play. Chad Johnson, so he doesn't have to go play soccer. He can come play football again. I think it's going to elevate your NFL level coaching by giving a stopgap for coordinators to go play
Good
at.
night, Eileen. She said good night to us.
Oh,
Good
good night.
night,
I didn't
Eileen.
see that.
Yeah, that's and you're spot on with that. Again, it's and it's the same thing with with baseball. Not everybody wants to have to go to Japan to try to rejuvenate their career. You want to stay home with your family, and it does give you that opportunity. It's an alternative on a national scale. Like you're on ABC and you're on ESPN. And honestly,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
not like you're on. It's not like you're on Lifetime.
I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like if there wasn't an expectation, a realistic expectation ahead of time by executives that this league couldn't last, I don't feel like ESPN and ABC would be jumping in on this. So I think that too is going to reflect on the presentation of the game. And again, not that it gets crazy gimmicky, to where it's crazy events, crazy old events, WWE, and I think that there's a reason too, Ryan, just kind of going back to the wrestling stuff, and it kind of coordinates to this. Vince is giving his attention to this.
Yeah.
And I think that that's key for the success of this league. I think that, and we'll see, he's a crazy old man and says he's going to give more attention to this without sacrificing his WWE attention. But, I think not crossing those lines now, he learned his lesson by crossing those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I think being able to go and focus on this, maybe take a little less time around all the gimmicky and fictional stuff, again, will benefit this league as well. I mean, if you're looking at Vince or Roger Goodell, it's an interesting matchup, isn't it?
1-on-1.
Is that going to be a WrestleMania match?
Yeah. I'd love to see it. I'd pay to see that.
Loser gets
What
their
are-
head shaved.
What we're doing? Hell in a Cell? Or are we doing what? Hardcore match?
Oh,
We're
man.
doing.
Is Bobby Lashley going to be one of the competitors?
Unfortunately, no Umanga.
No.
All
I'm
right,
glad
okay.
you said Umanga, by the
Or
way. I
I
was going to
always
say
do. I
Umanga.
always do. Umanga.
What are those?
Umanga.
What are those matches where they used to have? It's a 1-on-1, but then outside of the ring they used to have
Lumberjack.
a bunch
Lumberjack.
Lumberjack.
Or
yeah.
Lumberjill.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
lumberjack match.
With-
Half of them are going to be NFL players.
Yes.
Or just any.
But it's
all
going to be
the
all
wrestlers.
the ones that were suspended. All Goodell's. Vince is going to recruit
Miles
all.
Garrett.
Yeah, Miles
that
Garrett.
there?
Kareem Hunt's going to be out of the
And then,
outside.
and then Pumphrey is going to be the XFL version of Ricochet.
Oh
He's
my
going to be
God.
flying all over the ring.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
and then Goodell on his side's going to go and get all the AEW talent that
Yeah.
Vince rejected.
Oh, my
He's
God.
going to start pulling them, and then that's going to be all the lumberjacks.
And then all of a sudden, mid-match, you're going to see Shane pop up on the on the Titantron. Guess
now
what,
own
Dad? I now own
the NFL.
I now own
Hey,
XFL.
I was going to say, hey, Dad, the contract does read McMahon, but now it says
Shane McMahon.
I now own the NFL.
The Alliance.
Oh, we had to get a little wrestling.
Oh
in
my God. The guest referee should be someone who played both football
there. Ed Hockley.
and
It's got to be Ed
was-
Hockley.
I was
Steve
gonna say Mick
Austin.
Foley.
He's
Stone
jacked.
Cold.
Stone Cold Steve.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple guys.
I'm going.
Yeah.
With Ed. I'm going with Ed. Ed's jacked. I need
and Hockley.
No, it's going to be Andrew Luck.
Oh,
Because his father runs the league, doesn't he?
Oh God.
That's why he retired.
oh my God. Do it. Maybe Andrew will show up in the XFL one day.
Oh, yeah.
That would be something.
He's like, it's cool. I'm contracted. If I ever play in the NFL again, I'm contracted to the Colts. But listen,
That's a
He'll
way
show
up
up on draft night.
I just want to play one year.
Father. No, I'm just kidding. He'll be the future quarterback for the Patriots, right, Kev?
Who?
Andrew Luck.
No, he has no luck. He's
Yeah.
broken.
I feel like that tune would quickly change if he showed up with the Patriots.
No.
Oh, I always believed in Andrew.
unfortunately, though, his contract's frozen now. He can't. Yeah, if he comes back, he's obligated. That's why Barry Sanders never came back.
Yeah, and
Chad,
Barry Sanders almost came
Megatron.
back.
Megatron too.
Yeah, I mean, those are two huge. And coincidentally, it's the friggin' Lions. who did
Lions,
it.
man, messed up a lot.
Barry Sanders in the 90s almost came back to play. There was talk about him coming back to play for the Dolphins.
It's a real shame.
Did not happen because the Lions refused to let him out of his contract.
That's petty.
That's just
It
pathetic.
was real pathetic.
It is.
An organization that never put anything behind this guy for success and allowed him to run himself into the ground. And he still stayed healthy.
And they wanted money back too. I think there was a lawsuit in terms of
What a
for
disgrace.
money. Barry like in the Lions didn't have a good relationship for several years after he retired.
And as it should have been that
Yeah.
way, too.
Do you believe, last question I have, do you believe with the XFL, now people are saying that for them to survive, they need big-time stars like a Dez or a Manziel? And I know Manziel wouldn't fit because of the whole, if you go to jail, you're not allowed in the league type thing.
I don't know that we need like a Des Bryant or anything like that. I don't know I don't want to say big stars. What I think they need is
Household names?
recognizable stars, guys who have played in the NFL that people know, and I think that will come in time. And I think that they need to
I think
develop
they
their
have
own.
a
They
stars.
need to, I think they need stars, whether it's known names already or names that they develop themselves that become
Yes. He hate me.
Yeah.
He hate me. That's the one.
It's literally the conversation that I have on Lazy Booking about AEW.
Yep.
You can bring talent from the NFL or in the WWE if you're going to hold the comparison in. But at some point for that organization to succeed, and the XFL is the same way, you have to develop your own stars. If you are constantly pining and relying on guys to fail in the NFL to have a shot at them, that is not a recipe for sustained success long term. You have to develop your own stars to succeed. And I believe that they are going to be able to do that.
like
But yes,
Donnell Pumphrey.
you. Well, listen,
I'm just kidding.
for all
I'm just
intents and
kidding.
purposes,
puke
they
all over
definitely
the
pretty
equipment.
I'm just kidding.
Listen.
Puke all over the equipment.
Listen, outside of Philadelphia, nobody knows who that guy is.
Oh,
Yeah,
buddy,
I know,
will.
So in a way, you're not terribly wrong, because if he ever does develop into being a star, it's because of the XFL.
Oh, he will. Just to spite me.
So I look at it this way, and I agree 100%. I wholeheartedly believe that they will create their own stars, just because of the pure fact of the college stardom to the NFL. If you look at guys like Kurt Warner, who went undrafted, who played in the CFL, the Arena League, you've got
Bagging groceries while I was in the Arena League.
yeah. You look at even high side hothead guys that don't want to go to named NFL team to play, say, well, there's another option now.
Yeah.
I can go to the XFL because it's prime time. Guys didn't really do that before because you had the Arena League, which I don't know when one was ever on TV really to sit down and watch on a big network. There's never,
NBC had it for a little bit, a cup of coffee.
but to put the backing behind it to say, hey, you can guarantee to catch these games and see
Yep.
these bigger names.
Yep.
You didn't have that before, but now you have it to where you bring in enough in this first year of the the Michaels, the Jonas Grays, the the Peppers, all the different players that, hey, I remember seeing that guy. So I'll watch it now, and then after this draft, we'll watch who comes out. All these undrafted free agents who are I believe would get paid more going to an XFL contract as a starter to go play on a practice squad team.
It's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll even take it another step further. There's three real key elements for it to succeed, because you are going to need talent that's recognizable. They don't need superstar talent, but you need recognizable talent. You need to develop your own stars, and I believe that ultimately you are going to need to have guys who can resurrect a career and get back into the NFL, because that to me will also legitimize the game as a true platform. Even if it would take years and years and years to legitimately be competition for the NFL. We're not stupid. We understand that. I don't think they look at themselves as a competition right now. They're an alternative. But if there's ever a chance for long-term sustained success, staying power, and to truly hit that level, first thing you're going to have to do is prove that guys can come there and reach, whether it's develop the skills there first or come back after a trip to the NFL and reinvent themselves to be able to make that jump back and then have the success in the NFL after they go back.
Yeah.
Not just be, because I think it hurts the league more if guys don't do well in the NFL, come down to the XFL or come to the XFL,
And still
blow it out of the water, and then go back to the NFL and they're ran all over.
Yeah, because then it says like, oh, you're not
Right. Like, you're good for that,
but you're not good for
not
yeah.
here.
But the other way around, it's like people watch it be like, I could be watching the next, like they could be a star on my team or they could contribute on my team,
Exactly.
like in the NFL, and I want to be able to spot like, oh, this guy, like I can just imagine myself now. Oh my God, DC Defenders, that guy running back, he could be a good, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have fans like that if that happens. Yeah,
I think that that's the one that would be the dagger for long-term success is if guys get opportunities in the NFL, whether it's a first time or it's their second or third go around, and they fail. That's not going to look good on the quality of the league. I don't think that's going to happen though. I think and having like a Jim Zorn and those type of guys, NFL guys coaching there, I think is huge as well.
I think, twofold. First, to hit the longevity of the league, I think the biggest win already for them is Vince not coming out and saying, like he did in the past, and saying, we're going to take over,
Right.
Hey, you didn't, very, Trump-esque with the, USFL saying, hey, you didn't give me a team, so now I'm going to make my own league, and we're going to take yours over. This is hey, we don't have to be number one.
Right.
This is our own thing with our own timeline, separate. If we do well, great. That's what we're expecting it to be, but it's not a us or you. It can be together. And I think this is a perfect stepping stone for players like a McCown, like a Breeze, players that, there's no openings to just give you a coaching job to where you can work with this guy, work with Jonas Gray, work with, these quarterbacks that weren't good enough here. What can you do with them there? No harm, no foul, because you're not on you're not in the NFL. You're not on a big team where we can say, oh, well, you messed that up.
Mm-hmm.
To work, go do it on, the little brother. Go beat him up for a little bit, and then you can come up here.
Right. Anything else for the cause with the XFL before we move to no huddle?
No.
You hear Ryan shaking his head. Are you
He's
guys
looking
going to
at Don
talk
Humphrey
XFL
Huddle.
tomorrow?
No.
No. Ryan's done with the XFL.
No.
Nothing to contribute to the XFL, Tom?
Listen,
Tall.
we had one of our most infamous segments this time last year with the AAF. Remember we were talking about that?
That was funny.
And then
I can't believe how long that conversation went on for.
Then they broke my heart. I can't do that to myself again.
Your heart was broken like
it's
4
better-
days later when they folded
better
up.
to love-
Exactly. I gotta wait for this to play out. I gotta at least wait to week 3.
It's better to love than lost and never loved at all.
I don't know if I can love again because of the AAF.
See, I was never sold on it in the
Me
beginning.
neither.
Well, that's good for you, Kevin. You missed the great conversation that we had last year, Kevin.
Yeah, I couldn't take that league seriously either. No. It was, and they tried to bring in names like Mike Vick and these different guys, and it never stood a chance. Never. You could broadcast any high school football game and you'd have a better quality game than what we saw there.
You know what I want to see? Yeah, I want to see them bring Snoop in.
Oh, God.
Big WWE fan, real big into football. He's a Pee-wee coach.
Oh.
Bring Snoop Dogg and let him coach over there.
Oh, God. Well, that's not gimmicky at all. That'll really
Not at all. He's
really-
a real football coach. He happens to be of 10-year-olds, but hey, Vince likes him.
He can't because he has prior arrests.
He's not playing.
I'll tell you this. Something just popped in my head.
What?
And they would have to really pay out the you-know-what for this. I wonder if a couple years down the line and the XFL is still a thing, I wonder if they would invest some money in getting Gronk involved. Maybe not just to play, but just maybe the fakes of it. I don't know what they would do for him.
I mean, we'll see. Gronk's a little tied up right now on The Masked Singer, so.
Oh, Jesus.
He also has a huge party bash A lot of big names down there.
Yeah, Bill was there.
Quick
He was.
side note, again, if anybody's watching The Masked Singer, Gronk is the white tiger. If you don't know that, you're an idiot.
I don't know what that means. I don't watch.
You got to watch The
I
Masked
also
Singer.
I don't
dog.
watch that program.
You got to watch it.
What day is that on?
Wednesday nights.
Oh, I'm very busy. I don't get home until 3 in the morning.
That's fine. DVR, baby.
I'm okay.
Welcome
I'm
to
already
DVR.
DVRing the 6 other wrestling shows that
Well,
night.
you can find his performances on YouTube.
I'm okay.
It's pretty great.
I'm fine.
He did Ice Ice Baby, and then I forget the other one he did, but he did like a 90s hip-hop song. It's totally great.
That was the show with Antonio Brown, right?
Yes.
I'm fine. Thank you. I'm okay.
I have to go watch it now.
Of course he has to.
I'm telling you, you'll love it.
Chucks and I, we're okay.
I got better things to
I have to clean
Watch.
I have to clean my shoes that day. I'm sorry.
I have to clip my nails.
Yeah. I have to clean the wheels on my car again.
I have to rub my belly.
Yeah, you do.
I have to clean the driveway that I don't have. That's kidding. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I have to wash my pool that I don't have.
Yeah. In the winter.
Bunch of schmucks. Closed-minded.
I have to write in my journal.
That I've never written in.
I'd hate to see.
You'd have to buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd hate to see what you write in that, Ryan. Actually, I'd love it. Can you start keeping up a journal and we'll read an entry every week on the
Sorry,
show?
I can't. I have to watch NXT. Now you don't.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
That's why DVR is great.
I got to cancel the network.
That's going to be a conversation
Yeah,
on
I know.
Thursday.
There's going to be a
already.
lot of yelling.
No huddle. We're going to go. I'm just going to throw mine out there. I put a post in the Real Talk group, and I'm going to say it again because it's the greatest trade of my life, even though I wasn't alive, but it affected my life. 38 years ago today, one of the most lopsided Major League Baseball trades, February 11, 1982. Ozzie Smith traded from the San Diego Padres to the St. Louis Cardinals for Gary Templeton. Ozzie Smith, Hall of Famer, 15-time Gold Glover, 15-time All-Star, 13-time Gold Glover. Hall of Famer, my favorite professional athlete of all time. Happy 38th anniversary to becoming a St. Louis Cardinal for life, Mr. Ozzie Smith. And everybody respects Ozzie, so you can't hate on me for that one. I know he was real happy about
That's very true.
2011. He loved it, too. He was at the parade.
What happened in 2011?
They beat the they knocked the Phillies out in the first round. Ended up winning
That's
the
a
World
shame.
Series. Great game in Game 5, too.
Hey, Kev, what happened in
Yep.
2018? What happened in 2018?
Pertaining to,
Football, Kevin. What happened?
I have no recollection.
Yeah, but we can't say because they came back and won the Super Bowl the next year.
It's fine.
Like we
Game
can't.
sucked. I
6.
didn't watch it.
6 in 20 years.
At least when we're in the Super Bowl, the games are good.
Yeah, sure. You're right about that.
You're
Spot
welcome,
on.
Kevin.
Spot on.
Well,
Both times we were in the games
Yeah,
against them.
that's right.
I mean, what do you want us to do? Put up top performances every time we're in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
It's only fair.
It's hard enough to get there and win it. We have to make it good too.
Oh,
God.
you're so tired.
All right. UFC had a card this weekend.
Did they? I don't think the judges knew that.
It was something else for if any fight fans watched.
49-46. The hell.
So me and Kevin were talking about this outside. I definitely think that in terms let me have him talk first because I agree with a lot of his points. I'm not going to steal his thunder. You go ahead.
So coming from a, for lack of a better term, a combat sporting background, having wrestled throughout high school, having been in a position where a judge is, it's one-on-one and you have a judge or referee, counting points one way or the other, and they're all, there's no set rules necessarily. It's very derogatory on whatever way you're leaning. It's always been, drilled to me is if you leave it into the referees or the judge's hands, you probably didn't deserve to win anyway. So,
It's a fair point.
so the fact that Jones won at the judge's mercy, I can't complain too much. But with that being said, I don't think he deserved the win. I did not have it scored as the winner, but being that is the outcome, I can't complain too much on it. Especially if you're looking at a setup where 80% of the time, if it goes into the judge's hands, the championship retains the belt anyway. You have to, he's earned that right. You kind of have to dethrone him, if you will. You have to finish the fight. And going into it, if you're Reyes and you don't do that, you should kind of expect that outcome. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, it was bad judging up and down the card. I'm a big Derek Lewis fan.
As am I.
He won in a decision where he should not have.
Agreed.
He got out everything. He's not an athlete as far as a top to bottom type guy. He's got the power, but he just didn't. He was very lackluster in this fight. I think that the UFC is going to come down and have a lot of changes made to their judges and who's on the boards and have them reevaluated. With that being said, looking forward to a lot of big upcoming fights. Hopefully, this one is ran back very quickly.
Yeah.
Because I like Jones, but time is up. I think he's ran his course.
Yeah, and even to piggyback off of what me and you were talking about, during the break, you can even take the judging questions just as recently as the last event that they had.
Yep, where Holly Holmes
won. Holly Holm. She shouldn't have won her fight either. I mean, it was questionable. It was close, but for the most part, she pretty much lost that fight. I'm not a believer in the and this was like a justification, like the commentary was trying to justify things. I don't believe that just because you win the championship rounds, you win the fight. Basically saying the last 2 rounds. I believe, to me, there was no question that Reyes won 1 through 3. I think that John Jones probably won, was it 4 or 5 pretty handily? Might have been 5.
Yeah, 5 definitely.
4 was
4
he won, but it was pretty close. And I just felt like there was a lot of excuses. And then there's, we had the takedowns. And how many takedowns did we see, though? Like, to me, it's almost like the starts and quality starts, Ryan, in baseball. Like, if a guy gets taken down but pops right up, is that effective? Does that change the outcome of anything? No. Now, if you're taking a guy down and you're doing ground and pound or, whatever it is, that's a different story. But I'm with him, though, when he made the point to me that it should never get to that point. You should have to finish the fight. I can't argue that. At that point, you shouldn't let it be that close. If it was 4 rounds to 1 for Reyes, I don't care what the decision process is. He deserves to win that fight if he doesn't finish.
Yeah.
But it wasn't close, and he definitely left the door open in that last 2 rounds. But it still wasn't even anywhere close. But I'm not up in arms about it. I'm with Kevin. Like, there has to be a rematch for this fight. There has to be a rematch and a reprieve. If not, but, yeah, I'm with you on that. We got a minute left, but did you want to throw in a no huddle before we hop off?
Yeah, I'll just say I'm going to keep it – I'm going to try my best at least to keep it spoiler-free, but I did watch the whole season of All or Nothing the first night it came out because I have issues, as we all know. But I want to let –
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. I have issues.
We love you.
I want all of you guys to be able to watch it first, but I just want to make a few points, regardless as takeaways, as some of my takeaways from the season. I think, I haven't watched any of the previous.
Well, just be
4
careful though,
seasons.
because we're gonna do it next. We're gonna dive into it next week.
Yeah.
So don't
I'm
give
just giving
too much away for
no.
next
That's why
week's
I'm just gonna
segment.
give like one quick
Yeah,
takeaways.
Don't give too much away.
No. I haven't watched any of the previous seasons, so I have nothing to really compare it to other than, Hard Knocks. I used to watch Hard Knocks here and there, but I haven't watched the last 2 years. But what I will say is that even though it may fall short by, like, some people expected to hear a lot of things that, like, secrets or things we didn't know. I wouldn't say it does that, but what I will say is that it really, the storytelling of how they tell a story of a team's season is masterful. Like, it's absolutely masterful, from production to editing to music, everything. It's just beautiful, and I think that anyone that's just looking to relive this season will be satisfied. So I think it's a good.
Yeah.
I think it's a good watch in that perspective.
I haven't watched, so the one thing I'll just add to that and contribute to that, a lot of the feedback, and this is not a spoiler, is that it is kind of tough to go back and watch it just simply because the expectations coming into the year and right off the bat, reliving that makes it very difficult to go back and live through.
There are some that are very difficult, yeah.
See, I planned on watching it, but unfortunately,
You're not an Eagles fan.
I've been catching up on The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
That's been-
Jesus!
And you have to blog,
Yeah.
And
I've
write in your
got
journal.
lots of things to do.
and you have to grow your beard.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
well
gonna
then-
take some time.
You know what? And then you know what? Next week we'll give you that time by suspending you another week. Then, so you're good. So you're good. We'll
If
have
you
that.
watch The Masked Singer and give me legitimate feedback, I will lift your suspension.
I'm watching it when I get home. So.
All right. Guys, great show this week. Ryan, thanks for hopping on the second half with us. It was fun. Thanks for Pete for joining us first half. Unfortunately, he had to step away. Chucks, Kevin, great show, guys. Fam, loved your participation as always. Thank you to our sponsors, Specialized Physical Therapy. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Ambuck Services, gutter cleaning, installation, lots of things they do, tree trimming. Find them at gutterservices.com. And as well as ATS Sports Picks. Get on there. Use the promo code A2D, 20% off. Get you 20% off on first-time purchases. So get some money on the fam here at atsportspick.com. Singular on the site, atsportspick.com. For us, check in tomorrow. Mr. Broda will be here with the fix. We'll have AM and the PM. All the A2D content across the platform for the rest of the week. And like we said, find us on all the social media, podcast platforms. Give us a like, follow us, rate us, love us, because we love you. Until next week, have a good one.